Yeah.
care what the magazines
Hey, Terry, my better
say.
phone.
You're beautiful, simply beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You're beautiful.
Anybody call this hip hop? No, the charger.
Peace. This is the Touré Muhammad Show, and I'm your host.
I'm Linda Sissy Perez, your co-host of the show that talks to shakers and movers who have knowledge, experience, and resources to help you do for self. This is a solution-oriented show.
Come have a seat. No need to ask. As long as I have a bowl of bean soup, you got half.
Welcome everyone to the Touré Muhammad Show, and get prepared to hear about the greatest story ever told. Right about now, what I'm going to do is tell you all the things that we're into. Okay, once upon a hurry somewhere in the future, we didn't have to worry if somebody would shoot you. Excellence, yes y'all, we all that. Business, real estate, and actual facts. Actually, that's the tip of it. Financial gifts with it. Spiritual advancement, we're here to uplift. We're here to celebrate your success and give it back to everybody and their mama know where to shop at. You like that? I love that. We do too. You can change your condition when you change you. Yeah, so sit back, relax, and let your conscience be free. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce Brother Touré.
All right. What's going on, black people? This your brother Touré Muhammad in the place to be. And we got the wonderful Linda Perez. What's up, Linda? Peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum. What's up, black people?
Oh, I'm sorry, you couldn't hear me. Good morning.
Oh, good morning. Good morning. Hello, world. What's going on, Linda Perez? Everybody, welcome to the Touré Muhammad Show. Nothing much. Man, you've been working. You've been humping.
Yes, yes. But it's a good day. It's beautiful outside, so shiny, sunny. But look, is it cloudy? Is it supposed to rain today? You know, Chicago, we get
You never know. You
whatever.
never know. But it,
So,
it,
no,
it
everything
feels
is
good
good
out
for
there.
us.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, it definitely
How's
feels good
everything with you?
outside. Oh man, we
How's been
shaking
your
and
week?
moving. We shaking and moving as always, man. I feel like a student. I feel like a college student, man. These past 2 weeks have been a lot of continued education in real estate to make sure I stay compliant and also just focused on learning a lot. So we've been going over contracts and been running around with clients showing properties. So man, it's been very, very hectic. And of course, you know, we always been we continue to help promote some of our local businesses. So we, you know, it's been one of them weeks, but I love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we got some announcements, man. And as we get these announcements rolling, we want you all to like and share the page, man. Tell people to tell people the Touré Muhammad Show is on. And what would the Touré Muhammad Show be without Linda Perez? So we are excited and happy for another day here on the top side of the earth. And we got a great show for you today.
Yes, awesome.
So as we hit some of these announcements, you know, we got a few that we know we want to drill in and make sure you all don't forget. If it's your birthday, happy birthday to you today. And I want you to go by Brown Sugar Bakery and get a cupcake on us. No, Brown Sugar Bakery was giving the cupcakes up today. If it's your birthday, she does that. She's been doing that for so many years. So stop by if it is your day today.
That's what's up. What about Dan Soul Food, Tori? What's going on with him?
Man, you tell us what's
What's
going
new?
on.
He still got the $6 hollers?
Man, you know he ain't playing with those $6
I'm
hollers.
asking you.
Huh? Yep, he
So
does.
does that promotion work?
Oh, it absolutely works, man. You know, he sold out at the Taste of Black Chicago, and people come by there and can get that belly full for $6? What?
Yes,
Listen, it's
I
some
know,
great
right?
places out here with some great food. And but one meal may cost you about $15-$20. And it's worth it now. I'm not taking nothing away from those that you pay a little bit more. And he does have some other meals that cost a little bit more, but he got that economy $6 holler for you. So get by there, 2523 West 79th Street. And he's been supporting Our Black Truth. This is a new Black-owned social media app that is out there, and we might have the producer of it on the show real soon. Real soon, we'll see how it's going. We trying to work it out with this summertime break that we about to get into for the summertime.
Absolutely.
Man, how can people get a
So
free
go
taco?
ahead. Oh, they can text, what's that, 844-773-8392. They can receive a free taco when they text the word Sissy's Tacos. Also, we have our special, our $5 holler between, today is Thursday, so between 4:30 to 5:30, we have two tacos for $5. And then we have that new cauliflower and sweet potato taco for our vegan lovers.
Man, absolutely. And I think I need to come get me a couple of those some of those Cajun Jack tacos today. Those are some of my favorite.
Yes, yes, yes. And unfortunately, today we are not serving jackfruit Touré.
What?
So yes, we went shopping. There is
Outrageous.
a shortage. It's a shortage, so there is no jackfruit
Well,
available.
somebody need to go to
Um,
Jamaica. Somebody need to go to Jamaica or somewhere in the Caribbean and pick up. Hey, anybody get on the plane from the Caribbean? Bring back some jackfruit, man. What about the
yeah,
corn?
so
Is the
I'm
sweet corn happening? Because I know it's been some
not
shortages
yet.
on corn too.
Yes, it has. It has. I went to two locations, but we do have our street corn. We're low, but we still have corn. That should get us through the day, and hopefully, I'll check back to the stores tomorrow.
I don't even know. It's something about
And
that,
then we
man.
have
I don't trust that.
our vegan street corn. So we finally got our cheese. That's hard to find as well. But we found it. I
Shaka.
think it was
Shaka. She got the vegan
Wednesday.
street
So
corn.
Shaka. So it's back. Shaka. I know he's been coming up here every week looking for it. So
Man, that's
I'm
what's up.
excited, Tori. I know it's the summer. It's warming up. So we got Sean Michelle's. It's a great day to go get Sean Michelle's ice cream, Tori. Hint,
Man,
hint.
that's a fact. That's an actual fact. And if you do, I'm telling you, if you haven't had it already, get that Sajda bean pie infused ice cream. It is like eating a bean pie, but ice cream. It's
Mm.
serious, man.
I would like to try that.
So we're
So
gonna
have you
stop by
tried it?
there. We're gonna stop by there. Yeah, I went to the launch of it, the debut of it.
No invite.
You were making tacos. You were making tacos.
Oh,
I
good one.
told you about it.
Saved by the bell. No, so I would love to try that one. But my favorite one is I'm simple, the vanilla.
That vanilla, that homemade old school vanilla is the continued winner. I think he says that's really his consistent and best seller. So hey, it is what it
And
is.
it is, and I take the light off of Sean Michelle's ice cream. But I was just looking on Facebook. I think I shared it on my page, but it's a sister that has her ice cream in Walmart, and it's black owned. So that's something I want to explore too, and I want to go see if I can find it in Walmart as well and taste it.
All right, well that's what's up.
Yeah.
Hey, so we got man, shout out to Gen F, man. It's a brother who's been doing some spoken word. So I want you all to go to YouTube and put in Janeff, Janeff, and check out this brother and his spoken word with some classic music behind it. It can put you in the vein of Marvin Gaye and Sam Cooke, what's going on, and change is gonna come. So we appreciate him. He's one of our supporters. And Chateau for Men. So definitely shout out to her for what she
Awesome,
does for
awesome.
men's skincare.
Yes, that's beautiful.
Yep,
So we
yep.
got so many we got so many components and so many people doing so much in business, which is dope. I love it. Even when it comes to the restaurant piece, we got Mary J Cafe,
Yes.
which I actually love it. that that what is it? Did I get the honey jerk salmon?
Yep, that honey jerk
Was
salmon.
that the one?
Salmon, right,
Oh
right.
my God, delicious. Yes. And his rice is delicious. And that cake.
What
So
do
I
he
need
do
to
to
get back
that
up there so I can
rice?
get some of that. I don't know, but I like that rice cooker he has. We always learn from each other. I like
Man,
that.
it's you. It's Sissy's Taco Bar and Mary Jane Cafe even make the rice good. Shout out to y'all.
Yeah. Yes. So
So and
I love it.
and he got some great desserts over there as well. So
Yeah.
it's worth getting by there, 7112 South Yates, and check out some of that delicious food and explore what he has over there. He has some variety of things to, you know, make your belly good, make your belly happy.
Awesome. Yes. Yes.
So, man, listen, brothers and sisters, like and share the show. We have an amazing show. Today we're gonna be talking to brother Michael Muhammad. Man, I don't know, man. Muhammad is like it's like Williams. It's like Brown. It's a lot of Muhammads. It's a lot of us, man. I've been introducing you all to some Muhammads, man. Sadiq, peace, Sadiq, to so many
Good morning.
different Muhammads. So this brother here is I've been knowing him for a long time as well, and he's an amateur boxing champ, and he has a fitness and training facility that I've been going to, and man, I can't wait to tell y'all, to talk to him about what he's been doing. And then, of course, we got Sister Starlet's going to come on and give some final call reports. And listen, it's some stuff in the final call newspaper. You cannot miss a week of the final call newspaper because even with all this social media, even with all the news programs, there's some stuff you miss if you don't get that final call newspaper.
Yes, I agree, Tori. I love the Final Call newspaper because you do get the information that you don't normally typically get in the regular news or coverage, and it's just the way the story is told that I love too.
That's right. That's right. We tell it from a black perspective. We get the information, and we're really one of the only independent black media outlets out there that is not dependent on at all on any advertisement from any corporation. So that's a big part of staying independent and strong. And before we get to that first guest, Linda, I want to, people have been asking me about this. And I don't know if you saw it, the dress code at Steak 48. Did you read the dress code for Steak 48?
I did. It was very clear, straight to the point. Um, are they targeting a certain group? I would say so, but it's a touchy
Now
Um,
let me remind you
but
of something. Let me ask you this. Go ahead. Go. Now go ahead. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. I mean, we
Remember,
can go
we
piece
went
by
out.
piece.
There go my mom tuned in. Peace, mom. So there was we went out on the rooftop getting something to eat.
Mhm.
And a young lady with a group of ladies walked in. And everybody was commenting and looking because of what she had on. Do you recall that?
I do.
Her whole backside was out.
Yeah, her whole
Huh?
bottom. She had no panties on. She had no
No,
panties on.
no underwear on. And what she had on did not cover what she had anyway. And they went to go sit down, and then they quickly were the waiter or whoever went over there, talked to them,
And
and
squirted him out.
they escorted them out. Right.
Yeah, it was
So
inappropriate.
it was extremely inappropriate. And you become embarrassed for her. Like who wants to sit in that seat when you have
After
on
her
a
on it.
top that don't even cover I mean, I didn't covering anything. Who wants to sit down, even want to sit down in that seat?
And it was netted too. Yeah, that was sad. And of the fact that her friends allowed her to come out to celebrate her birthday like that. We have to have self-respect as women out here, how we conduct ourselves. And we don't need the attention from our bodies, because that's the wrong attention that we get, the men that don't respect us or they'll disrespect us. Um, but those goods are our goods and those are private.
Yeah. And look,
Um,
right, right, and look, they would. So she had on less than you would have if you had on a bathing suit at the beach. Now, sometimes you might be in a situation where okay, swimwear, but this is evening dining. So I'm putting that out there because I know some people may be like, well, I'm grown women people got to wear what they want to wear.
and but and to looking at the policy, I think it was just overboard, just with some of it. Um, I get it. We can come in, we can dress casual, but um, with your cleavage showing, come on, that's way too much. Or you're telling me my t-shirt can't have large image, that's too much. But if you make and set your atmosphere as just casual dining or casual dressing, everyone should know what that is. I think they just went too far explaining exactly what they don't want in there.
Yep.
And then the smell of perfume and cologne and that's just too much. I can see
Fine.
no hats because it is a fine dining restaurant, Touré.
It is.
So, but
So let's break it down for those
I
who
think
didn't.
some of it is overboard.
Yep. I understand though, because I think they had to language certain things in a certain way, right? So they okay, so the one you're talking about, clothing emitting offensive odors such as excessive perfume, cologne, tobacco, and marijuana odors. I think what they're really targeting is the tobacco and marijuana odors,
And people
but they
spraying
had to
over it.
kind of make it a little bit more universal, right? Because hey, people will come in, especially now that it's still some convoluted laws out there, but more people are more open with smoking. So, do you want to always be in an environment where there's excessive smoke? Just like even before with tobacco, everybody doesn't want to, have the tobacco smell in their environment. So,
But it's not going to be in their environment. I mean, tobacco, people are heavy smokers, so you're just going to deny them because they have a smoking problem. I think that's just overboard. How they
I think
smell.
if it's emitting from your clothing that you're not just a casual smoker.
It's ridiculous.
That means you got out. Now listen, when we had our tax company, right? There was a young lady who wanted to come to work, and it looked like it smelled like she had just got out of a meeting with Snoop Dogg and Cheech and Chong, and I had to send her out because it's made the whole office
Oh, I do
smelled like
remember.
that. Right?
Yeah.
The whole office
Yeah.
smelled like that. And everybody was like, so some people were
I had a
offended.
problem with that. Yeah.
Right.
'Cause
Some
we
were
don't want
offended. Some of the workers now were, they were off task now because now they want to know, hey, where you just come from? Let's go back there. Right.
yeah.
So
And
I
that's
can get that.
yeah. Yeah. And that's just like, sissies, we're planning to do a diner, and ours will be casual but family oriented. So I don't want you to come in there with your boobs out and your butt hanging out or that smell, especially if we have children around, because we're trying to change the setting of our community. Sometimes we got to teach our own people.
Right. And and people know what is sometimes can be overboard. Even who was that? Drake said that in the song. He want a woman walk in and make everybody uncomfortable.
Yeah, because I think I went into Ooh We Did, and I think someone came in there smelling like marijuana. I do not like that smell. It stinks. It turns my stomach. So I can get that too because if I smell, I'm like, damn, can you respect the person? Like, why do you have to come in smelling like that? Especially on the
Right.
83rd Walmart. Oof,
Right.
Lord.
So they said any clothing that is excessively revealing and shows an overly bare midriff and excessive cleavage. They said exposed undergarments, men's tank tops and sleeveless shirts, and bustier tops, corset tops, bandeau tops, and tube tops, unless each is worn under a waist length jacket. Now,
Hold on. Did you see the hold on, Tori? Did you see the? I think your skirts got to come to your knees. I feel like I'm back at Jones Commercial High School. I mean, to my knees. I couldn't stand that room to my knees and to my ankles. Um, but come on now, our skirts to our knees. We're not back in the '60s.
I
We
didn't
don't
see
wear
that
our
part.
skirts to our knees. I think that was in there, and I'm like, we don't wear our skirts.
Yeah.
It was
Well,
something.
yep. Well, there it is though. But they're saying they have the right to refuse, and if it seems to target a certain group of people, I think in some regards there are people from cross nationalities who are dressing like this, but we do seem to, we take it to the extreme. Black folks, we do it right when we come out, we come out. you know, in most cases, a black woman with what you call them yoga pants on look totally different than a white woman with yoga pants on. In general, not
Yeah,
not
yeah.
across the board. But one might be able to put on a t-shirt and cover up, and the other one, it don't matter what they put on, ain't nothing
Yeah,
covered.
because like some people might put the yoga pants on, but they might have the long blouse that makes it real jazzy. And you put a belt on, you got your heels on. That can look nice, but I just wonder if they're gonna get pushed away because you can dress up yoga pants.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think that yoga pants need to stay in the
I
yoga
know
room. I think
you
that
don't
that
like the
is that's.
yoga pants.
I don't care what you say. That's hood. That's ghetto right there.
Well, you got to move in the
Not
days. What
not
do
in
you
the good
think?
way.
Yoga
Not in the good way.
leggings are comfortable, but yoga pants and you got jeggings and you got leggings, so you can
All the
probably get away.
same. It's all the
No,
same.
that's why they
If
call
you
jeggings
walk
leggings.
outside and all it looks like is and it look like you just got paint on your body, you need to have something flowing. You need to have something because of what do you we call men dogs and then women, hey, what you expecting, what you attracting, right? You talking about respect me for my mind? Well, show the man your mind. We want to show the
And not your
behind.
body.
But anyway, let me get off of that because women get offensive. They get, don't tell me what to wear. So I might get Sister Starla on back me up on this one. She's coming on in a few minutes. So, but yeah, that dress code, I think in some ways it is targeting a certain class and a group of people. But in other ways, I think that it is something that can help deter the type of people who may come into your establishment that will disrespect it. And there's a fine line we have to create. And the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said it like this, that we have been so broken, and I'm paraphrasing, we've been so broken that we've become difficult to be in civilized society and just be able to have manners and decency. That's something that we don't wear with a badge of honor. We wear with a badge of honor. Well, I'll F you up and don't be talking about me like this. Oh, I'll blow this. You know what I'm saying? We wear that aggressiveness with a badge of honor when humbleness and humility and being smooth sometimes can get you much, much farther. But listen, we're going to go to a break and we're going to come back with more of the Touré Muhammad Show. And we're going to have our sister Starla Muhammad with the final call report after these messages.
WIIFTBP.
WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the green side of things. It's your man, Sadiq.
And Cassiopeia.
Motivated by the days, the sandwiches of spam. Grilled cheese won't stop me from grilling.
those who are stealing the peace and safety of the community because they releasing death and destruction on the community. A community where the people look like me and them. A place where mama and them stay. Not too far from where their children stay. You right. I want a peaceful neighborhood, and I'm not moving to the suburbs to have a peaceful neighborhood. Do we really have to take this, acting like we don't recognize this, still cooperate with this? You know what? The hell with this. Ram me behind a mic that's shaped like a middle finger, pointing straight up with my middle finger to any poor politician, dealer, deaf, crooked cop, or lazy parent. It's apparent to create change, you have to have a work ethic that make it seem like you lost your brain, standing out like the Willis Tower. It's a brother that represents dedication, discipline, and dream reaching, accompanied by a voice called power, who rhyming harder than a rebel with the pen. Representing the city of Point Guards is an extra large MC who rhymes always on point, always rhyming with a point behind the flow. One of my students said the rhyme so hard we should stop calling it flow. Let me tell you something else before I go. I was born to stand tall. I was born in Chicago.
That is Brother William Morris. Appreciate you, brother. Much love. Chicago, homegrown. Every Tuesday and Thursday from 1
to 3 p.m. on
What's in It for the Black People Media.
Since 2018, nearly 3,000 tax credit scholarships have been awarded to Black students in Illinois to attend private schools that best fit their needs. Now, Governor Pritzker wants to slash this program. In a time of much uncertainty, we need greater equity in education for our families and children, not less. Call your state representative and senator and urge them to stand up for our kids and their future by supporting the tax credit scholarship program. For more information, visit empoweredillinois.org.
Yeah, man. Ideas. It's ideas, man.
You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind you. It's so clear to see that you wanna be free. You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind you. It's so clear to see that you wanna be free.
Let's go.
Standing my ground, I can't mess around now. It's like my time is in a bottle, captured by your love, yeah. Now I know women's got this thing going on. We can't stay around so long, but I wanna come correct. Baby, get your foot off my neck. You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind thee. Understand clearly, yeah, that you wanna be free. It's the time that you spend making me think within.
All right.
It's the trust still beginning. Fade away.
We are back with more of the Touré Muhammad Show with my co-host Linda Perez, and we have our guest, Sister Starla Muhammad.
Good
Assalamu
morning.
alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Good morning, Sister Linda, Brother Tory. Wonderful to be back with you both once again.
It is a pleasure.
Thank you.
Always happy to have you. So
Likewise.
what's going on? Of course, people, we have our regular, this is the final call report, and we want to always highlight the incredible work that the editor-in-chief, Brother Naba Muhammad, and yourself, the managing editor, are doing, working with the team to get news out, offering words of reformation, redemption, and resurrection, and current events. So thank you for the work that you all do. And tell us, what is the latest in the Final Call newspaper?
Yes, sir. Well, thank you both once again, as always. This week's issue of the Final Call is entitled No Closer to Justice. And of course, this week marked a very sobering commemoration anniversary of the death, or we should say now murder, of Brother George Floyd in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So we wanted to just examine what's been happening in the country since 1 year ago today, because of course, when that video was released and of course went viral, immediately folks were saying, oh, this is a day of reckoning in America. It really opened a lot of people's eyes as to what what we've been telling folks all along that has been happening with interactions with the police. But it was something about, the George Floyd video that resonated with a lot of folks. So we were, of course, promised all of these sweeping reforms and changes, and, people, took to the streets demanding change, whether it was reform the police, defund the police, dismantle the police, and so you had, I think, a sentiment from a lot of people that this is finally it. We've reached a seminal moment in America that we have turned a chapter. But, looking at a year later, very little has changed. Of course, we know just as the verdict of Derek Chauvin for the murder of George Floyd was coming out, there was the death of young brother Dante about 10 minutes from where George Floyd was killed. And even, since last year, police have not eased up, have not let up. And so this cover story, we just examined kind of what has been happening over the last year. And moving forward, what should we expect? Of course, we know that the federal legislation, the George Floyd policing legislation that has been highly touted and, pushed particularly by the Democrats, it did pass the House, but has been stalled in the Senate. And sentiments are that, unless it really gets gutted, particularly the portion that is talking about, really stiffer penalties for some of these police officers and what has been deemed qualified immunity, that this legislation may not even pass the Senate. And of course, President Biden, it was his goal to get this legislation passed so he could sign it on the anniversary date of George Floyd's murder. But we see that didn't happen. And, we've also seen other kind of promises made that have not been kept. So we really just wanted to examine, over this past year, what has been happening. And it's not only this particular story, we actually tied about 2 or 3 stories to this cover story about George Floyd. Of course, for those of us in the Chicago area, we're familiar with the Anjanette Young story and what happened to our sister when that video was released. And, the fact that the COPA, the Civilian Review Board, came back, but the police officers still haven't, received any type of substantive punishment. So there's just a collective frustration that, we may have gotten a victory with Chauvin being fired and being found guilty. But even in that case, the other 3 officers, their trials have now been delayed, I believe, until next year, because the judge basically felt, well, with all of this publicity surrounding Mr. Chauvin, we want to go ahead and not have these other officers or former officers be tried until next year. So still a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, and just a lot of, it's like a hamster in a wheel. Something happens, country explodes, there's protests, there's promises made by politicians that we're going to enact legislation, things are going to be different. But we see what the reality is, that things have not changed.
Yep, absolutely, man. And people are tuning in. Michael Muhammad said it was disingenuously ambitious to think it would be signed at all, let alone in a year. Sister Lenore sends you a shout out. And James, I hear you, James, man. We're going to have to figure out how to do that technology-wise. That's some moving parts we got to figure out. He said he wants a close-up of the guests when they talk. But listen, see, to me, this is like what happened in the last with Chauvin. It was like, imagine you have a bully that has for years been taking all of your money, just robbing you every time you look up, deboing you. And then one day he gives you back $1. Okay. All right, thank you for giving me this $1 back. But this does not even begin to equal out what has happened in the past and the damage that you have done. And I think that's what the government and people who are watching things are fearful. They are reminded of what, even if they don't know the words of Thomas Jefferson, they think in terms of what Thomas Jefferson said when he said, "I shudder for my country when I reflect that God is just." And so one day soon, it won't be, I think, at all because of a desire of goodwill that justice will be served, but the God of justice that we all serve will make things equal real soon.
Right. Yes, sir. And I think as well, that really ties into the editorial in the current issue of the Final Call newspaper written by our illustrious editor-in-chief, Brother Touré Muhammad. And we also included that on the cover in terms of tying all of this coverage together. And actually, the title of his editorial, which of course you can see on finalcall.com, you can check out the editorial as well as the cover story and the other stories in the current issue of the paper. But he titled it, "We Can't Make Peace with Satan." And I just want to real briefly read an excerpt where Brother Naba writes, and this is, of course, based on what happened last year with Brother George Floyd. He said, "In fact, American police agencies have continued to slaughter blacks after the Floyd killing. Black people were 28% of those killed by police in 2020, despite being only 13% of the population," reported Mapping Police Violence in numbers updated as of May 21st. And the group said there were only 6 days in all of 2020 where police did not kill someone. I want to repeat that. There were only 6 days in all of 2020 where police did not kill someone. Black people are most likely to be killed by police, less likely to be armed, and Mapping Police Violence noted in April that since the Floyd death in 2020, 181 blacks had died at the hands of police. So again, the numbers, the percentages, back up the fact that even though there was optimism that perhaps a day of reckoning, a day of change was on the horizon, that does not appear to be the case. And again, that editorial is on finalcall.com, as well as the cover story that was written by one of our contributing writers, Brother Barrington Salmon, as well as Brother Naba, the editor-in-chief. The story about the update on Anjanette Young was written by one of our young contributing writers, J.S. Adams. And then we have another story, another tragic story written by Brother Barrington Salmon. And this is a story about a brother named Liddell Lee, who was actually executed just a few short years ago for a crime he always contended he did not commit. And years later, after he was executed, there is DNA evidence to support the fact that this brother was innocent of this crime, but yet he is now dead, executed, and did not get, his day in court prior to him being put to death. So again, just want to reiterate that, we're living among people that don't have our best interests at heart. And of course, we know that, as Minister Farrakhan has often taught, that we are dealing with a war on two fronts, because we have to, of course, take into account the fratricidal violence that, impacts our community and what we do to one another as well. But again, in light of everything that's going on, there is a solution. There is light at the end of the tunnel. But we have to be willing. Yes, sir. We just have to be willing to do the work, understand that we didn't get in this condition overnight. So we're not going to get out of this condition overnight. But, I think we have proof of people all over the country in our communities that are working hard daily, whether it's working with young people, whether it's, starting businesses and
Sister Starla,
providing jobs.
tell us about It's Time to Build, how Black
Oh,
folks are
yes.
creating communities.
Excellent. Yes, sir. And that speaks to, folks who are doing something and who aren't, waiting around, for somebody to do something for them. And it's time to build. Again, this is another one in a series of ongoing articles that we want to highlight and spotlight of Land and Nation, which is actually a phrase taken from an article by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So this particular article, we focus on, of course, the 19 families in Georgia that purchased nearly 100 acres of land, and they are calling it the Freedom Georgia Initiative. This story was written by another one of our young contributing writers, Sister Anisa Muhammad. So she had an opportunity to speak with two of the sisters in this collective, in this collaborative, to find out, of course, what inspired them to come together. And one of the sisters basically stated it was seeing the death at the hands of these white supremacists down in Georgia of what happened to Ahmaud Arbery. And she...
Oh, Sister Starla, hold on. Sister Linda I'm sorry, hold on one second. Sister Linda
Sure.
has to log off. She got to go make some tacos.
Yes.
All right, Sister Linda.
All right.
You.
All right, you guys have a go.
All right, we're going to come get some tacos. It's fine. It's a $5 holiday today. All right, go ahead, Sister Starla.
Look, I might have to swing. This is my non-eat day, but tomorrow I might have to make a trek into the city.
Go ahead.
But the Freedom Georgia Initiative, so a collaborative of 19 Black families who pooled their resources, purchased almost 100 acres of land. They have since subsequently, Brother Touré, purchased another 500 acres of land. And
500 acres.
500, not 500. And so it's really inspiring. And they, talked about just those who sent, after they purchased the first nearly 100 acres, how many people reached out to them who really wanted to join on to this effort. They've been inspired, which is the reason why they ended up purchasing another few hundred acres of land. And they want to build a safe haven, a city for Black folks. And so this article spotlights the Freedom Georgia Initiative. Also in this article, we highlight the 10,000 fearless first responders, and they are out of Texas, Austin, Texas. And so they have also purchased land, and they want to also turn that into a community. And they've already begun some of the preliminary work. And I think what is great about this article, Brother Touré, and again, you can also find this article on finalcall.com, is that a lot of times, you think that it's purchasing the land and maybe that's it, but that's not it. That's the first step. And so Sister Christina Muhammad, who is one of the leaders of the 10,000 Fearless First Responders out of Austin, talks about, some of the real work and effort that goes into once you purchase the land, zoning. You have to figure out what you want to do with it, how you're going to petition it up. So it's a really good, I think, article that talks about, practical application as well. And some of the work that goes into once you purchase land, what must be done, that's just the first step, but really inspirational, Brother Touré, in terms of, Black folks around the country. Hopefully we'll be running additional articles in this series about Black folks around the country who are really coming together, purchasing farmland, purchasing real estate. If you're not, for the country living and you want to stay in the urban centers, that's fine as well, because, we need land all over, in rural areas, in urban centers, growing our own food, educating our children. And so that's where it's at.
That's absolutely right. And I think you definitely have both avenues, whether it's rural, whether it's urban, right? It's so critical to be able to carve out and have some ownership. Of course, that's one of the reasons that I wanted to get into this real estate component, because we have to be able to get those bundle of rights that comes with real property, that we can be able to create our own communities and control our own environments. Right. So I was just visiting, someone who is, a client of mine, a new client of mine, and in their backyard, they have 3 chickens. They have a whole little area where all the vegetables rather, that they eat in the house come right from their backyard. And they got the 3 chickens produce 5 eggs a day, he said. And so, and you would never know it from the outside, from looking at the front of the house, that he had all that going on.
In the back.
Right, in the back. So, regardless, like you said, whether you want to be rural or you want to be urban, you can still create some oases, right? And some environments that can be conducive to the kind of growth and peace of mind that you desire.
Excellent. Yes, sir. And Sister Christina, in the 10,000 Fearless First Responders, they purchased, actually, I was looking through, they purchased 100 acres of land this past September, and they are going to be establishing a community called the 10,000 Fearless Community Ranch. And so in the article, she talks about how a portion will be used for residential living, a portion for farming, and a portion for commercial use. They're looking to have 30 residential homes, a school, a medical facility, a gas station, a hotel, and other amenities. So, we look at that. Of course, we can't be remiss in knowing that this month also marks 100 years since the massacre that occurred in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And so looking at that as a backdrop, I think it's even more prevalent and important that we build and continue to do for ourselves, because if we were able to accomplish what we accomplished, not only in Tulsa, Oklahoma and Black Wall Street, but there were literally dozens of Black townships that sprung up all over this country, not too far after, the so-called Emancipation Proclamation, where we were free. But our people pooled their resources, came together. And if you see any of the images from Black Wall Street and just the dignity of our people and the businessmen and women who were so successful there. And then, of course, white folks weren't happy about that. So again, came in and under a lie of, a Black man accosting a white woman, they bombed and destroyed Black Wall Street as well as Rosewood and other Black townships around the country. But we're a resilient people. And I think you're seeing that spirit, Brother Touré, in some of these efforts that we'll continue to highlight in the final call in terms of Black folks around the country who are rebuilding, who are acquiring property, who are purchasing, opening schools, buying farmland. So it's a beautiful
right.
day.
It is.
Yes,
and I think that it's important to highlight that, when we talk about Rosewood and Tulsa and other places, that there is a level of fear amongst our community that has kept us from reaching and striving for generational wealth. Now, there was all these other components too now, from everything from housing to all these other components that kind of reinforced, right, a continued self-check, if you will, and not reaching for the things that will help our communities be safer and stronger. Because, man, you see what happened in Tulsa, you see what happened here.
Right.
And I think that it's so important to recognize this Joshua generation, this young generation that 100 years later, they're fearless.
Right.
You just mentioned the 10,000 fearless. And of course, we know the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, fearless. Right. So it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with age, but a mindset. And this Joshua generation is fearless and are ready to do what we have the right and the ability to do if we just come together in unity. So I'm very excited about what I see happening across the country in the purchasing of farmland.
Yes, For sure, for sure. And one thing that Sister Christina shared that I think was so powerful in this article written by Sister Anissa, and it reads, although it can be a long and expensive process, Christina Muhammad said the opportunity is there. We just got to go out and take it. I will tell you right now, white folks are buying up property because they know it's our time. They know it's our time. And we're just going to have to put our faith in Allah God. It's rough. It's even scary sometimes because you're looking at it like, oh man, I don't even have the money. Oh, my credit. Oh, what else am I going to do?
Right.
But if you believe and trust in Almighty God, Allah, you don't have to worry about it. So again, it's pulling your resources, getting with like-minded individuals like we were taught by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and going out there and stepping out on faith. But after faith, we got to put the work into it.
You have to put the work into it. That's absolutely right. And it's there for the taking. And listen, brothers and sisters, listen, if you're trying to buy some real estate or if you're trying to sell some real estate, then holler at your brother, man. We are focused. You know, if anybody, you know me, man, once I determine I'm doing something, I'm all in. And so we really got to help our people understand some of the dynamics in this real estate business. You know, see, look, a lot of us don't have generational wealth right now, not because other folks know more than us, but there was a time when FHA and VA, especially VA, let's take VA loans, the veteran loans, right? Right. Those were given to veterans who had fought in World War I, World War II, and folks were able to come back from the war and be able to get a loan with little money down in order to get a home. Right. Well, those loans were easy to get for the white veterans, but the black veterans were getting denied. Right. So they were forced into renting for and raising their families in rentals, while their counterparts raised their families in homes that by the time their children were of a certain age, college age, they were able to take out equity in their home to pay for their college education, whereas ours had to take out loans and create student loans that hampered that child from, you know, once they left college, right? And so then things were equaled out a little bit more, and they said, okay, we see the problem here. The black folks, the veterans weren't getting the loans, but at that time, no, now the houses that was, you know, $50,000 and $60,000 and $100,000, now they're $350,000. And so here it is. You have, hold on, I'm trying to make sure I guess it gets in. Use the link I just sent. So here it is. Now you have the barrier. You know, it's almost like, again, if you use a sports analogy, you held me back so we couldn't start the race at the same time, and now you at the end of the race where you only got to take 5 steps to win, and now you telling me, okay, my bad. Let's just go from where we are. There's no way I'm gonna catch up.
Exactly. Right. And even for those who may be like, well, you know, that's an example of something that happened years ago, but it's still happening today. Brother Touré, I know we had mentioned a few episodes ago, and I finally ran across this article that we had talked about. There's a sister named Carol Duffy, had her home appraised.
We got to take this quick break. I'm sorry about that. We got to take this quick break. It's 12 o'clock, and then we're going to come back. We got Brother Michael on. We want you to stay on with Brother Michael. All right, we'll be right back after these messages.
WIIFTBP. WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me.
Got to Kennedy King, so you remember Corey Brown?
I definitely remember Corey Brown from Morgan Park.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Murder, man. I got it in with y'all one day before a game, and then y'all literally went out and destroyed some people by about 50 at Kennedy King, and I'll never forget, somebody shot a jumper. It came off long, and Corey will tell this story to this day. he says he went up, and I was in the stands. He went up for the rebound, and before he could jump, he said he felt a foot on his head. And it was you, and you caught it. Classic P-Mac catching it over everybody, putting it back in. He says before he jumped, he felt a foot on his head. And Corey was 6'4", easy.
On his head.
On his head.
Yeah, Corey, so he was 6'4", man. I used to just, I don't know, I had a knack, man. I was always uber athletic. Like I was taught early, if somebody shoot, you got to come from the opposite side. I had a guy in my neighborhood named Wayne Irvin, legendary dude to us in our neighborhood. Played at Chicago State, played at Wyoming.
Okay.
Played against Patrick Ewing. He passed away a couple years ago, but went to CVS. He was a decorated player. A lot of people knew him. And he taught me early, like, you attack offensive rebounds from the opposite side. So if somebody shoot from the left wing, you crash from the right. If somebody shoot from the top of the key, you can crash because it can go either way and you can get it. I was so big and athletic. I used to get a lot of tip dunks. Like, for some reason, people never boxed me out. And once I got a running start, if it came off anywhere over the rim and bounced up, you was dead.
This is Eugene McIntosh, one half of the illest independent sports media outlet in the whole entire land, the Bigs. Check me and my player partner Terrence Tomlin, a.k.a. T-Tom the Great, on What's in It for the Black People Media Network.
Sissy's Taco Bar Pop-Up is back with more hours and more days. Check them out at their new pop-up location at the Woodlawn, located 1200 East 79th Street. Sissy's Taco Bar offers authentic street tacos infused with international soul. Now every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the Woodlawn from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. New vegan tacos have been added to the menu too. Visit sissytacobar.com for more info.
Come on now, let's throw back, babe. I wanna throw back, babe.
is the Touré Muhammad Show, and I'm your host.
I'm Linda Sissy Perez, your co-host of the show that talks to shakers and movers who have knowledge, experience, and resources to help you do for self. This is a solution-oriented show.
Come have a seat. No need to ask. As long as I have a bowl of bean soup, you guys have.
Welcome everyone to the Touré Muhammad Show, and get prepared to hear about the greatest story ever told. Right about now, what I'm going to do is tell you all the things that we're into. Okay, once upon a hurry somewhere in the future, we didn't have to worry if somebody would shoot you. Excellence, yes y'all, we all that. Business, real estate, and actual facts. Actually, that's the tip of it. Financial gifts with it. Spiritual advancement, we're here to uplift. We're here to celebrate your success and give it back so everybody and their mama know where to shop at. You like that? I love that. We do too. You can change your condition when you change you. Yeah, so sit back, relax, and let your conscience be free. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce Brother Touré.
All right. We are back, man. We're trying to get our next guest on, having technical difficulties, but we're going to keep working it. And as we work with him to get him on, Sister Starla, if you got a moment, we got Brother Michael Muhammad, who has been doing some incredible athleticism. He's been boxing.
Okay.
He's been doing a triathlon. He's been doing all kind of stuff. Triathlons, I should say. So we're trying to get him on. But yes, man, let's shout out Brother Michael. Brother Michael, listen, so I got to get back. I have to confess, because both of y'all have mentioned it. Brother Michael and Sister Starla both mentioned this is, their eat days. So Ramadan kind of threw my course off a little bit on the one meal a day. But I'm on every other day. But I'm getting back on every other day. And, man, you all are my inspiration to get back on every other day, at least. So Brother Michael says today his day to eat, so he's coming through. Man, that's only with the black Muslims, man. We stuff that we say that sounds so normal. Other people be looking at us like we crazy. It's right. Not my eat day.
Tory,
huh? Yeah, okay. We got Brother Michael. There we go. Hey, can you move your camera horizontal? Turn your camera horizontal.
Oh, okay, like this?
Yes. There we go. Better? We about to pull you back in. As soon as do it the other way. It didn't straighten up. It should straighten up.
Am I crooked or something?
You're crooked. Go the other way. Do it the other way. See if that works. Okay, all right. Just leave it like that. We're going to bring you right in. We ain't playing around no more. There we go.
We be messed up.
Man, so man, brothers and sisters, we got a Michael Muhammad that's in the chat in the comment section dropping knowledge. But then we have shout out to Sister Lestine too, who's tuning in. We have our brother, man, he's been a long time community supporter, community advocate in so many different ways. I've known him for many years now. He's been always a consistent helper and fighter in the cause of truth and justice. And listen, I didn't put your name in there. I'm gonna fix your name in here in a second, man, because I know how to spell your name properly. So, but our brother is not only doing a lot of work in the community, but he has also been doing incredible. He's going to talk about this, but in some incredible triathlons and 5K and 10K and 15Ks and boxing, man. He's been knocking folks out. He's an amateur boxing champ. Wow. We have Brother Michael Muhammad on the Touré Muhammad Show. And we got Sister Starla here. She was giving us the final call report. But I said, man, she got to hang out with us, man. She might have a question or two for you. She might want to get in there and put them gloves on, Brother Michael.
Okay.
So, assalamu alaikum. How you doing, sir?
Man, I'm good. All praises are due to Allah. Wa alaikum salam, brother. I thank you. I thank Allah so much for allowing me to Well, first, to even be alive today, to wake
Yeah.
up in my right state of mind by Allah's grace, and to just to be on this show, man, it's indeed a honor and a privilege. Man, I've never been on a talk show, brother, so I was a little, nervous. Like, man, what are the questions? My wife was like, "Did he send you some questions?" Go get out and call on the God, man, and just do what we do.
Yes, sir. Absolutely,
I
man.
thank you.
You were good.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
You were definitely in good hands, man. We're not gonna do any gotcha questions, and I already know I'm gonna talk to you about the stuff that you are comfortable, that you talk about every day, and so and I'm appreciative and thankful for you for coming on. And so, man, just tell us first of all about your personal fitness journey. Because I remember I was hearing things. I was hearing about you starting to work out in boxing. So tell us what got you into it, because that wasn't your normal routine for at least for a few years. I don't know if you got back into it, but tell us about your fitness journey.
Well, brother, all praises are due to Allah. It's a pretty extensive story. Even growing up, I've always, I played high school football, high school basketball. I've always been a pretty big brother, and serving in the Nation of Islam as a lieutenant, student first officer. Now blessed to serve as the student national investigator by Allah's grace. It's a beautiful journey, brother. But at some point in my development, I began to neglect myself, and I allowed, stressors and things like that caused me, to not really focus on myself in terms of fitness. And I remember we was in a meeting, brother, with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, with the officers, the sisters and the brothers. This may have been like 2014, December. And he told me, and I can't quote him, but the minister had told me, he said, brother, you weighing other than yourself. Now, he best said, brother, you too big. You the first officer. You have to be an example to the men. To hear that, man, is a serious wake-up call. But I didn't heed the warning when he said it. It kind of made me, I went into a depressed state, man. Like, man, who wants the man of God to, pinpoint you that way, which it was really a beautiful, the way he said it was so beautiful, but due to the fact that when you have weight issues, man, you grow up with self-esteem issues, and you don't know why you going in and out of depression, and you looking for food as a way to comfort yourself. So the minister, he handled me with care and beauty, and I didn't heed the warning. So a few weeks later, man, I started feeling this serious pain in my foot. And I'm like, man, what is this? What is this pain? I couldn't hardly walk. And it turned out to be gout. So at the time, man, I was 44 years old. I'm like, man, you got gout? You 44? What's going on? And look, we was just about to go to Savior's Day in Detroit.
Yes, sir.
And man, I was in so much pain, but what was I going to tell the captain? Oh, captain, I can't make it to Detroit to Savior's Day because I got gout. No, I sucked it up, and I was in tremendous pain, but Allah got me through it. And, at that point I said, man, this ain't going to work, brother. You going against the grain.
Yes, sir.
Your activity in the mosque, you got a family, you got children, you working. You don't have a normal schedule, so you have to you got to figure this thing out about getting into shape, physically and spiritually, or spiritually and physically. So, man, I was about 2 weeks after Savior's Day, came home, and man, I was in my back room, and my wife had brought this elliptical machine, and I still hadn't rolled. It had been in here for about a year, bro. I mean, I used to mess around the gym, ride the treadmill, work out for, 2 days in a row and be so sore and be like, well, I get back to it. And, it's been 3 weeks.
Right.
So it's like 2 in the afternoon. I just got back from the mosque. And my wife was in the front room. She said, brother, you sleep? She said, brother, Michael, are you asleep? I said, no, I'm not asleep. She said, well, damn, it sounds like you sleep. You snoring? But brother,
wow.
It was, you breathing heavy.
Right.
Because you get all that weight and you don't know it.
Right.
So at that point, I went and weighed myself, man. I was like 305. And I was like, I said 305. What? This can't be right. Took all my clothes off. 302. What? So, man, I got on the elliptical that same day. And I think I did maybe 5 to 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But it killed me. I was like, man, 5 to 10 minutes. But shortly after that, man, I begged Allah to give me something that I could fall in love with that will help me get myself into the physical and spiritual shape that I need to live.
Right.
And from, am I being long-winded, brother?
No, you good. You good.
Okay. So from going from the elliptical, I started riding my bike. I would ride the elliptical. I got up to like maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I topped out at an hour. Then I would ride my bike to Palmer Park, and then I would walk. Then I would try to run, but my knees would be hurting because I was still carrying a lot of weight. So that's how my journey started, from the minister, giving me a warning, to that gout, and to my wife saying, brother, you back there snoring. I mean, are you asleep? So those were my inspirational tools. Plus, I begged Allah to give me something that will help me to get myself into shape. So shortly after that, man, I began to, I was working out and I started dropping some weight. I started feeling good. And then once again, my wife said, hey, look, I'm going to go check out this boxing club. It's called Body Shop Boxing Club. And I had been in the poster in the, in this car wash around the job for years. And I said, well, let me go. She said she was going. I said, well, I better go too, because that's my woman. I don't, you got to be, you're going around another environment. Shit, let me go see what's going on. Right? So
that's right.
I get there, man. I think I've been trained, so I think I'm in some level of shape. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll do the first class, brother. That first class, man, was so hard. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wait a minute. And we've only been training for 15 minutes. And this is, so we started running steps. And then one of the coaches was like, oh, all right, big man, if you get a little tired, man, just step to the side. And I ain't like that.
Right.
Me, there's women in here, older people. So I kept pushing.
Right.
But the class was so hard. It was exhilarating. I was like, oh, because I've always wanted to box. I thought I could fight until you really learn the skill set and you really don't know how to fight. You think you do. So from that, brother, I would go to training. I would go to Body Shop Boxing Club 4 days a week. I would go twice I would go to the morning class, come back later, get 5 rounds of mitt work from this coach named Tom, and then I would do the evening class. I did that for months, brother. And the weight, I started feeling so good, man. I was going from a 3X to damn. I could wear extra large, and maybe a large.
All right.
But I started feeling so good, man. I always wanted to learn how to box, man. And I just want to give a big shout out to Body Shop Boxing Club, Coach Rick Ramos, Coach Jessica McCaskill, who is she's the undisputed welterweight champion. My former sparring partner, Matt Hambrick, he has a pro debut coming up. They got another fight over there. A young woman named Summer Lynn. She's about to be 5-0 as an amateur. But Rick Ramos, the coach over there, man, he man, he really inspired me because as an older fighter, and as I was still training, he asked me one day, he said, "Hey, Mike, you want to spar a little bit?" And I was like, I would be there doing mitt work and I would see other people sparring and they getting down, brother. I mean, they not in there playing with each other. People getting their toes busted. It's real. Boxing is not a play sport.
Right.
So before you know it, I was like, yeah, I'll go ahead and, the macho man said, yeah, I'll get in there and spar. And about a month later, a little less, he started making me train in this mouthpiece. And then within a month later, he just auto said, "Hey, Mike, come on, you about to spar Matt." And I was saying to myself, damn, I didn't come here to spar. I came just do this mitt work. What does he mean? So we got in the ring, man. We put the headgear on, the body protector. I had my mouthpiece. And, man, we got to moving around a little bit, brother, and touching each other. He touched me real good. He handled me properly because he was more experienced. And, man, Matt was at that time was about 26. I was 48. So long story short, man, me and Matt became sparring partners. And man, we used to spar 3 days a week for 2.5, 3 years. So
man, this is amazing. Brother Mike, I don't want to cut you off, but I got to ask you about this. So
go ahead.
Let's read your resume now. Right? 2-time Chicago Golden Glove Master Division, Super Heavyweight Champ 2018, 2019, and from 2017 to now you've completed 4 open water triathlons. Now, I don't want to insult anybody's intelligence, but this ain't something that black folks really do a lot. So try it. Yes, but it mean 3, right? That's swimming, biking, and running, right?
Right. You swim, bike, then you run at the end.
And you've done 13 indoor triathlons and 4 10Ks, 3 5Ks, and 1 15K.
Right.
Now, you didn't stop right there. Now, that in and of itself is phenomenal. We talking about from a journey that was a seed planted in your mind by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in 2014.
Right.
But now you are with your training facility, Fighting Trim, you are transforming other people's lives as well. Talk a little bit about some of the testimonies that we've heard, that I've heard about, based upon you helping others get to where you are.
And I'm glad you cut me off because I was about to be rambling, brother. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Now, during the pandemic, I couldn't get to the boxing club like I wanted to. So prior to that, I was already training people, just mitt work, teaching some boxing principles, things like that, because I am a USA boxing coach, certified coach. And I just began to, other people had dropped things in my head saying, brother, what all the things that you're doing, you need to pull it together and start a business, a fitness business. You swimming, you biking, you running, boxing, you doing these HIIT exercises, these HIIT trainings, the whole 9. It's become a way of life. So in terms of some of the testimonies, man, the one sister, you know her too. She went to Limblom. I'm not going to mention her name because I didn't get permission to, but she just recently sent the group a text saying that, training has been an angel for her because, prior to that, she had a heart condition. It got permission from the doctor to try boxing, the rigorous workout. And the doctor, said, just make sure you check your heart rate and things of that sort. And man, after 2 months, man, the sister said, brother, I am no longer on these steroids.
Wow. And
I feel better than I've ever felt in my life. Now, another brother who he definitely won't mind me mentioning his name, and that's Brother Bernard Muhammad. He's FOI. He's also my brother. He started training with me maybe about 4 months ago, and he was just on the cusp of being on medication for high blood pressure.
Yes, sir.
And after a month or so training, vigorous training twice a week, watching what he eat, and coming to the training class, he went back. The doctor told him, look, you don't even have to, don't even worry about doing 6 months because whatever you're doing, your blood pressure is good. Okay. You know, so I got another brother that man, he's another fraternity brother. He used to be a heavy drinker. You know, he liked to hang out, do his thing, very responsible man, married with children. But due to the fact he embraced the training, and he had a bout with COVID. And he straight up told me, man, if he hadn't been training with me prior to getting COVID, it would have been even worse than it was. But now, man, after a year, he don't even drink. He don't even drink anymore. And all I credit to Allah for using me as a vessel, man, just to help people in that way. And what it does for me is I'm constantly training spiritually and physically.
Right.
Because if I'm an example, to the people, man, I can't be out of shape.
Right.
So just like the last class we was in, Brother Touré, I'm a bet with Brother Touré is one of the in the training class as well.
All right.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Brother Touré in there getting them hands right.
Oh yes, I'm getting it. I'm getting that rhythm.
So like last Saturday, I was blessed to teach like 4 classes.
Right. You just keep going, boy. You be like a Energizer bunny.
With a minimum of eight people per class, but you can't give people what they need in that type of training if you out of shape. So it pushes me to be better. Because every time I train, I look at it as I'm saying a prayer to Allah, thanking Him for giving me the opportunity to work the vessel that He gave me.
Right, that's right.
Of course, this morning, and before I even got on the car, I went and got my run in.
Yes, sir.
I ran out. Then the next mile, I run, walk, but I do a jump rope interval. So I'm like, man, I definitely gotta. If I'm gonna get on this call with Brother Touré talking about fitness, I can get my burn in before I get on.
Yes, sir.
But that's pretty much it, brother. And just one thing with doing the triathlons, man. All that was derived from me training at Body Shop Boxing Club, because one day I was very achy, and Jessica McCaskill told me, she said, Big Mike, you need to just get in that pool and start swimming, because the water will help alleviate some of the inflammation and the soreness.
Right, right.
Jump in the water, man. I couldn't swim like that, brother. I was like, do one lap, looking crazy. Then people who do that thing, they looking at you like, bro, why don't you get up out that pool? Because we doing these laps. So I would go early in the morning or late at night. And then before you know it, two laps, 3, 4 laps. So I signed up for my first triathlon, which was in the open water in Lake Michigan. The wetsuit, and it was like 50. This is my last one. And I didn't feel strong in my swim. And I was like, babe, you know what? I'm going to do it next year. She said, no, you ain't. Shit, we paid almost $400 for that wetsuit. So that's
just Nicole wasn't having that.
But Allah definitely, through the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, brother, it's such a blessing, man, to have him as our leader, teacher, and our guide. Brother.
That's right.
Because if I was 4 or 5 years ago, man, COVID, because I had COVID in March of 20, me and my wife. But
wow. And y'all blew right.
I know for a fact that, brother, due to my fitness level and the grace of Allah, that I was able to, because I was still training, but I was very lethargic. And
hey, we got to, Brother Michael, we got to go to the break. This is the end of this segment. Man, well, I appreciate you for coming on. Tell people how they get in touch with you, because everybody need to get some of this training that you're doing.
Yeah, look, you could reach me at 773-459-7420. That's my cell number. And the next time, brother, you need to give me about 3 hours on here, Chief.
Hey, I see now. Now you ready now. You ready now. You was hesitant at first. Yeah, we're going to have you back on.
I a former first officer. You know I can talk.
I know that. Yes, sir. Well, I knew you'd be ready. Man, I appreciate you. I love you. I'm going to see you in class, man. You didn't inspire me. I got to get more than one day a weekend, man.
All right, my brother.
Man, I thank you, man, for all you doing and helping our community to be fit. And, man, we love you, appreciate you. We got to take this break, and we'll be back. And we're going to be talking about the Muddy Waters House Museum next. We have on a great guest, and we got on some an incredible woman who's going to talk about the Muddy Waters Museum. So we'll be right back with more of the Touré Muhammad Show.
WIIFTBP.
Brother Touré.
WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Steve Stone did it.
All right. We are back with more of the Touré Muhammad Show. We appreciate our guests who were on, Brother Michael Muhammad. I just put his number in the chat comment section. People wanted to make sure they got his number to get fit, fight, and trim. And we didn't even talk about the spiritual aspect he kept mentioning, but we're glad that he was on. And listen, brothers and sisters, I want you all to know that the information does not stop. We have another amazing guest on the show today. I don't know if you all are familiar with an incredible project. It's been in the news. It's been in Rolling Stone magazine. It's been on local television stations, national television stations. She's had a lot of support for the preservation of the legacy and the work of really the father of the blues movement, especially here in Chicago. We have the granddaughter of our brother Muddy Waters here, Sister Sandra Cooper. Welcome to the Touré Muhammad Show. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this invitation. Actually, I am the great-granddaughter
Oh,
of
I'm
Muddy.
sorry, the great granddaughter.
Yeah, no problem. My mom is his granddaughter, and I am his great granddaughter. So, with
Wow.
Grace, I'm so happy to be here, and thank you for this invitation.
Absolutely. It is our honor and our pleasure. And please, man, start with, there is a movement that I am so happy about with us preserving our history, our legacy. And I think it's so important for the people who are part of that to be the primary reason for it, right? Because you know the story and the story's better than anyone. So talk about uh, your great grandfather, Muddy Waters, and what he means to Chicago. And then let's talk about this home that you have secured to preserve the history.
So Muddy Waters, if you don't know, if people don't know, he's considered one of the king of the blues. He's considered a legend. And in Chicago, in these parts of Chicago, he's called the king of Chicago blues. If you go downtown to downtown Chicago and you look on State Street, there's a big mural of Muddy Waters. And so right down the street on 43rd and Lake Park is the house that he once lived in. And he was there from the 50s and the 60s and the early 70s. He was there living there. He had his band members there. His band members will actually rehearse in the basement of this house. And I'm so lucky and blessed to have ownership of this house at this time. And our vision overall is to make this a community museum, a house museum where there's low traffic. And, of course we want visibility and of course we want visitors there, but it's really an educational experience of telling you about who this man was, the impact that he had on the music business. But more importantly, also the impact of him just coming to Chicago and that great Black migration of all of these people that came here. And then some of them, became stars and legends and celebrities and real estate moguls and all of that. And so we're just excited to have this museum and to have this vision that we can share with the blues community, African Americans, and also the city of Chicago. The other side to this is there's a lot of controversy around this house. This whole project has been a love project. It's been very difficult to sustain and to keep, but we're on good grounds right now. We're moving in a very good, positive direction, and we have a lot of support. And so we are getting some backlash, and there is some controversial issues attached to this project, as you know.
Yes, absolutely. And we would definitely want to talk about that. But first, tell us about the support and the overwhelming love that you've been getting to make sure this project happens. I know you got the Chicago the Landmark, Illinois, and Preservation Chicago. So tell us about all the support you have.
Preservation Chicago is supporting us. Our number one support right now in advocacy is Landmark, Illinois. They've been supporting us for many years, and just the advocacy overall of this building and keeping it the way it is. I mean, for a long time, people wanted to actually get this building demolished, and that was never going to happen because the area that we sit in, it does have some landmark protection right now. So beyond the preservation groups and the advocacy groups, we have people like you and I that are supporting this project. People like, I'm so happy the support of Wendy Muhammad and the project that she's doing, and other Black women who have these homes that are coming together. We have the Black House Museum Coalition that's supporting us. In addition to that, it's regular people out here in the community, the donors, the music lovers, former band members and musicians, and people who just love the music and love African American history. We have a tremendous amount of positive support and helping us in different ways. Some of those ways are financial ways, and others is just their support and other gifts and talents that they are leading to this cause to help us.
Man, it's beautiful. And yes, and you mentioned Sister Sajda Wendy Muhammad. Your sisters, y'all are doing it from Blacks in Green to the Emmett Till and maybe Till Mobley home, of course your home, the A. Philip Randolph National Home, and Phyllis Wheatley. The Black women, you all have come together to really support and defend our history. Now, we thought that the situation that kind of brought the coalition together to defend what was happening at the home, the former home of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad that Sister Saj is doing. I thought that was going to be the end of it. But it seems like something else is now happening with the same alderman putting some roadblocks into your way. So talk a little bit about that. And just for full disclosure, we did send a message to the alderman's office and let her know that she can send a statement if she want to. But we definitely wanted to hear what was going on from your side.
So right now, for the past year, we have been trying to get a landmark designation to start that process. So it's a very taxing process because there's a lot of history behind a house becoming an official landmark. So where the house sits right now, we're in the Kenwood district. And so because we're in the Kenwood district, we have a protection of landmark around us. But for funding reasons and also because of our own status purposes, we would like to have our own landmark designation. And so working with Landmarks Illinois, we have put the paperwork together. They have submitted it and worked with city officials. And we are supposed to be on the June 3rd agenda. We're praying that we will be on this through June 3rd agenda. But recently, Alderman King, with all due respect, she wanted us to be removed from that agenda and instead do her community meeting first. Since then, though, we do have new updated information. We're being told that we would be on the June 3rd agenda. But also on June 7th, there will be a community public meeting about the landmark of this property. In my opinion, in my estimation, without a shadow of a doubt, this property should be a landmark. I mean, we had a legend who was living there. We had a person who contributed great things to the city of Chicago and to the blues, overall to the blues community. And so we're going to have to just wait and go through the process. But we're also going to put up a fight as well, because this is something that we believe in. And we think that this is part of the legacy of Muddy Waters.
Absolutely. And, you know, it obviously, I guess you want to have a conversation around it. But, you know, hey, if we knew the tree where George Washington chopped it down, it wouldn't be a conversation about whether or not it was a landmark. It just is. It's no discussion about it, although we know that wasn't true, right? But anyway, the point I'm making is that, man, that house in Muddy Waters he really represents Black Chicago from what, Clarksdale, Mississippi, right? Coming up here. I mean, the whole story and the music, the blues. I mean, he's the epitome of what Black Chicago represents in history and in present, because you still have artists who are influenced, rock and roll artists and hip hop artists influenced by his music and what he's done. So absolutely, we appreciate what you're doing to preserve that history. Now, tell us what. Can people participate in June 7th? Is that an open forum that people can log in?
Right.
Or
but let me say this to you. There should not be a shadow of doubt. There should not be a question if that should be a landmark or not. I understand that we do have to go through this process, but that should be not even a question. If you have a mural of McKinley Morganfield, Muddy Waters, on a side of a building in downtown Chicago, there should be no question if his house, which is on the south side of Chicago, should be a landmark. You understand? I mean, even when they do the Blues Fest, you know, he's always prominent in that. And so I would ask the city of Chicago, and I would ask the alderman's office and all those people who say that they are fans and they love Muddy Waters to come together and support us. The first support will be on June 3rd when we are given a recommendation for this to be a landmark. But more importantly, at this community meeting that's going to happen on June 7th.
Absolutely. And so, all right. So now we got folks that need to be able to be informed and in tune. Is there an email? Is there something that people can get information to stay plugged in? Go to the website. How can people make sure that they are involved?
So if they go to our website and our Facebook page is Mojo Museum. You'll see the information about the June 7th community meeting that's open to the public. We'd like people to go to that Facebook page and you can find out more information. It's on June 7th at 5 p.m. You can get the link to register. Also, if you go to our website, which is www.mojomuseum.com, We will have that information up there as well, and you can get the link. And then lastly, if you go to, I believe, the Alderman King's website, that information will be on there as well.
Man, beautiful. And people may not know this, but that famous rock band, the Rolling Stones, got their name. They were inspired by your great grandfather, correct?
They were. I mean, if you go back in the history books, and if you just go on YouTube, you will see, look up the checkerboard with Muddy Waters and the Rolling Stones. They were right off. They were right at the checkerboard, which is right in Bronzeville, used to be. They were actually performing there. And so just knowing the impact that he had on the music, right? But more importantly, this is the story of Black people. My great grandfather was a sharecropper. He was a sharecropper. He was in the fields. Yes. And for him to stop being a sharecropper, invest in his music, move to Chicago, right? And then become a blues legend, that is a part of African American history that we must honor, that we must protect, and that we must make sure that that legacy piece is there forevermore.
Man, that's absolutely right. So again, we applaud you. We applaud the work that you're doing, and I know the tremendous amount of work that it takes, obviously, to put something like this together. So talk a little bit more as we close out on what that experience would be when people come. What are some of you got some of his guitars, you got his harmonicas. Just talk about how you're going to show that experience and teach people that history.
We're hoping that when you walk into this house, you are going to feel this. If these walls could talk, right? So you walk in the house and you will see the different artifacts, from pictures to different musical artifacts to the guitars. I mean, there may be some clothing that he's had in there, his shoes, jewelry, all kind of different kind of artifacts. But also beyond the artifacts, we want you to have an overall experience. And so when you go into the basement, this was the area of where, even if you go online, you will see different musicians. They were actually playing in this basement area. So we want people to have this experience where there's like a little sitting area, a little small area educational area where you can record a song that he once had, and then take that with you. And then an area where there's just educational stuff. There's literature and music and videos and film that you can watch down in this basement area, because that's the area that the musicians were coming there and performing with him. So overall, it's just going to be an educational experience. We want it to be for all ages, all races, all colors, just so they can understand who Muddy Waters was, the impact that he had on the blues.
Man, I love it. I think that's so important. And, unfortunately, sometimes other nationalities know the value and importance of our people more than we do. Yeah. And I think that this is part of it. The stories have to be told consistently, and different pieces, different layers come out. But when we talk about music in Chicago in general, right, if we don't start with some of the core influencers that made Chicago a capital of Black music before New York, before LA, before Atlanta, right? It was right here in Chicago with some of these amazing artists. And your great grandfather was, like you said, the king. He was top of the heap in so many different ways. So I look forward to that.
Do you realize that, I just wanted to say this to you, that people today, with the house the way it is, they still pull up and they drive by the house.
I'm sure.
I mean, this is on a weekly occurrence. And then when there's the Blues Fest, they come by. So can you imagine if we could have a place with limited hours where we're not, stopping the flow of traffic or interrupting our neighbors, where we can allow people to come in and enjoy this historical place. And that's what I'm just praying that what will happen.
Yep, absolutely. I think it's absolutely will happen. And man, as the project continues, man, we love to be kept abreast. Make sure that, you'll always have an open door to come and talk about the progress and whatever you want to as it relates to this project, because it's absolutely important and amazing. And we look forward to being able to go in there. So when you say record, are you saying that I could read the lyrics, but it'd be my voice? Or what do you mean when you say record one of his songs? Break that down.
we want an educational experience. So we're not going to have a recording studio where people are coming in and that kind of thing, but we want to have like a small educational recording booth, right? Where you can hear his music and you can sing along with him, you know, and that kind of thing, and take that recording, that tape along with you when you leave out, you know, so you can say to yourself, you know what, I was in the basement of Muddy Waters' house, and that the songs, you know, I had the Mojo, you know, Mojo song on, and I was playing, you know, they played the song and I'm singing along with them. And so we thought that would be like a really great aspect to have, and educational, but also like a keepsake to take with you.
Man, beautiful. So what is one of your favorite songs of your great grandfather?
I got my mojo working. And I'm going to tell you, Touré, every single day I wake up when I breathe this, and I have my mojo working to get this done.
Man, well, how you gonna be stopped when the mojo is working, man? We love what
the
you're
mojo
doing.
is working. I hope so.
Absolutely. So tell people again how they can reach you, how they can get involved, the website and the phone number if you want.
Please come to our website at www.mojomuseum.com. There you'll find any updated information about the museum. You will learn more about what's going to happen on June 3rd if we're on this agenda for the City of Chicago landmark designation. Also, we'll have information there as well about the June 7th community meeting with Alderwoman Sophia King. So we want to hear you guys' voices. We want to hear everybody's voices about the importance of why this should be a landmark. We've been hearing for years that people want this house to be a landmark in the City of Chicago, and we need your support. We need your voice. Please come to our website and get all that information. Also, we have a Facebook page at Muddy Waters Mojo Museum. You can go on there, and the information's on there as well.
Man, beautiful. Well, we hope that the roadblocks will be smoothed out. They'll be busted up, and that Alderman King really gets on board to be supportive of the work and the initiatives that you are doing, and all of the house museums that, well, I guess there's only 2 in her area. There's
several. I think there's actually like 3 or 4.
There's 3 or 4. Okay. All right. We may have some more on there real soon. Let's see. But we appreciate it again.
Yes.
Say it again. Say it one more time.
We want everybody's support. It's a worthwhile project. There's so much historical value, and we must honor and protect this Black space.
That's right. And like I love to say the African proverb that says, until the lions write history to tell of the hunt, will always glorify the hunter. The lions are writing history, and the lionesses are writing history right now. And we are so excited. So we thank you for coming on, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. So, brothers and sisters, man, we are pleased. We're coming to the end, man. We got about 20 seconds to close out the show. So I want you all to know that your brother is here, ready and willing to serve you. If you need some marketing consultation, if you need to find the right house, if you need to sell your house, then we are here for you. And never forget that as long as I have a bowl of bean soup, you've got half. Peace.
WIIFTBP.
War is not the answer.